officially finished Anna Karenina. As you can see, I had a lot to annotate. I had a lot to tab. So yeah, this is me doing a flip through. And at the same time, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts and opinions on Anna Karenina. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible so it can be short and sweet. And just a reminder that this is a spoiler review. Or not really a review, but more just me giving my opinion and thoughts on the book. So let's start. So Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I started reading this at the end of August, and I finished it on the first week of November. So it took me 11 weeks to read Anna Karenina, and I gotta say that the experience was amazing. I love the introduction to this, even though it's a Wordsworth, but it was really, really good. Let's get into the story. So just to summarize, the story is about Anna Karenina. She's a woman that is married to Alexei Karenin. Alexei is 25 years older than her, but they are seemingly in a happy relationship. Then Anna gets a letter from her brother Stiva Oblansky to come talk to his wife Daria or Dolly to help, basically it's for Anna to convince Daria to forgive him for his infidelity, because Daria discovers a letter with the old governess of their house. So Anna lives in St. Petersburg, so she travels to Moscow. On her way to Moscow, she meets a woman. I forgot her name, unfortunately, but it's basically Vronsky's mother. So on the carriage, when she gets there, she's looking for her brother, and she meets this man called Alexei Vronsky. Yes, he has the same name as Anna's husband, Alexei, first name at least. And when they meet, it's something electric, it's something passionate. It's, like, I guess, physical crush, I guess, instant crush, but not really love at first sight. And the mom, Vronsky's mom, is at all with Anna because she's so graceful, she's so beautiful. And that's the thing about the character of Anna. She's so beautiful, she's so elegant, she's charming. She gets everyone's attention. When she's in the room, she lights up the room. She knows how to talk and converse with people. Anyway, so Anna does her job, and she does convince Daria to forgive Oblansky, and then they go to a ball. In that ball, or at least before that ball, Anna also meets Kitty. Kitty is Daria's younger sister that is to be married. She's 18. She's basically in love, or at least she's in love with Levin, but her feelings are more guided to her being with Vronsky. So they go to this ball, and at the ball, Anna dances with Vronsky. They dance for a really long time. The feelings really start to get stronger, and Kitty realizes that she just rejected Levin and instead to be with Vronsky, but then, Vronsky chooses to be with Anna. Levin is basically the second important character, but I would say that he's the main character of this book. I think if you see on my Goodreads review, I did mention that I think that this book should have been called Konstantin Levin rather than Anna Karenina, just because the book is 60% more about what's happening, what's going on with Levin's life. And Levin, in a way, is a self-insert character. He's basically Tolstoy, including himself as a character in the book. So yeah, and then we kind of follow the difference between or at least the development between Levin and Anna. And Anna starts off as this beautiful, charming woman that later on, as she falls into an affair with Vronsky, she starts to change for the worse, while Levin starts in his worst and then starts to gradually improve as a person, become more likable, understand life, and stuff like that. And the story is really good. The story is amazing. If I have to comment on the writing is immaculate. The writing is amazing. The fact that I want to say that the fact that whenever it's Anna's scene, Kitty's scene, whatever female character in this book, whenever they're having like their inner thoughts, whenever they're having a dialogue, whenever they're going through something emotional, it really feels like a woman wrote this. Like Tolstoy had such a deep understanding for women, how they think, how they feel, that I even forgot myself that I'm reading a book written by a man. It is just that good, especially in the scenes where Daria is thinking to herself while she's going to visit Anna. If Anna is really if every woman in society is better than Anna just because Anna cheated on her husband and she's being shunned by society, and she comes to the conclusion that no, Anna just wanted to live, Anna just wanted to love, Anna didn't want to conform to society or didn't want to do what society expected of her to do. And so there's a whole dialogue that, or at least there's so much, so many different thoughts that Daria has. They really make me feel like a woman was having those thoughts, because it's the same thoughts that I've had about having children, how many children, beauty fading after a certain time, and stuff like that. And also the transitioning of parts and chapters. Usually when you're reading a chapter, or at least 3 or 5 chapters, and then with Anna, like let's say I'm reading something about Anna right now, and then transitioning into what's going on with Levin. It was so immaculate, so good, that sometimes I would read and I didn't even notice that when I'm not reading any, I'm no longer in the Anna chapters, I'm in the Levin chapters. The only criticism that I have is that it's not really a criticism, just an opinion, is that the book does feel long after a while, especially with some parts that I feel like it was a filler, and that is like the Levin farming, and also in the end parts when Vronsky and Levin are like engaging with other men in terms of like voting and stuff like that. Those parts I really felt like was just a bit dragging, but Levin's farming, I feel like it was necessary for Levin's development. So I really sat down with myself when I finished reading, and I was like, okay, this book is really long, but what parts would if I could cut down on this book to make an abridged version, what parts would I cut to make the book shorter? And I came to the conclusion that I wouldn't be able. Maybe I would have removed the last parts of the voting stuff that was going on with Levin's brother. But honestly, Levin's farming, I would still keep it in, and I wouldn't be able to make an abridged version. That's just how I feel like even the parts that I didn't like, it was necessary. So yeah, the writing was really immaculate, was just amazing. And I gave it 4 stars because it was just an amazing read. And it really is one of those books that everyone should read. Let me move on to the characters. So, my favorite character that I can say is Karenin. Everyone says that Anna deserved better. Yes, Anna did deserve better, but who deserved better was actually Karenin. So, maybe this might be a controversial opinion, but what I wanted to say is Karenin was a good husband in the beginning, or at least we start off being a good husband. When he thinks that, or when society starts to kind of gossip about Anna with Vronsky cheating and stuff like that, he actually did not say anything. He acted like nothing was going on. Maybe it's not a good thing to do. He should have addressed it immediately, but he did want her to not be with her around Vronsky that much because people are talking. And then when Anna did confront Karenin and she did say that she was with Vronsky, she was Vronsky's mistress. Okay, at that part, he started to become cold with her. But obviously, anyone would be. If you're in his position, you would be cold towards your wife that is literally cheating on you, and all of society knew it, or everybody just knew it. So, yeah. And then Anna starts to always mention how Karenin is a bad man, how Karenin treats her awful. She complains to Vronsky how awful Karenin is. But it was more of a he said, she said, because I did not see any moment in the book where Karenin was constantly abusive to Anna. And the only time he was abusive was when Karenin asked Anna not see Vronsky anymore, and for her to never allow or to never bring Vronsky into his home or into their home. And Anna did that. She broke the rules that he asked, and I think it was actually reasonable favors that he asked. So I do feel like he got angry. They were arguing in the bedroom. He got angry and he pushed Anna onto the bed. That was the only part that I feel like he was abusive or mean. But there is no other time that I can say that he was abusive towards her. Now, if anyone tries to say that, oh, in the end when she asked for a divorce, why didn't he give the divorce? Let me remind you that in the beginning of the book after Anna gave birth to Vronsky's baby, she almost died. Karenin forgave her, and she decided to leave Karenin's house and travel abroad with Vronsky. Now, Karenin wanted to give her the divorce, but she refused. She refused to accept the divorce initially. So I would say she's actually to blame for it. Now, in defense of Karenin, why I say he's the best character, because he enjoyed a lot, and then in the end I felt like he ended not in the worst position but in a really bad position. So when Anna was giving birth, she almost died because of the childbirth, the trauma, and everything. So Anna asked for forgiveness, and Karenin genuinely forgave her and forgave Vronsky. That could have been Anna's chance to redeem herself, but she didn't. Another reason why I love Karenin was in the horse race scene. So Vronsky was participating in this horse race, and almost when he was about to get to the finish line, he fell. I think his horse got injured and he fell. So everyone was worried, and Anna was hysterical. Anna was beside herself, and she was trying to scream to Oblansky and to some people to tell her what's going on because she couldn't see properly. And Karenin, seeing her have a meltdown, he actually rescued her and actually told her, like, take my hand, let me take you out of this place, you are not well. She refused the first, the second, and only on the third time, when she was literally besides herself, was when she accepted. So the fact that he saved her from humiliating herself in public because Vronsky fell off his horse, I felt like he was such a good man. And even when Anna started cheating and it was just an official cheating, he still did his duties as a husband. They were staying in different houses. I think she was staying in the country house while he was staying in their normal home, and Karenin will still take money will still give her money at the end of the month. He will still go and have tea with her and visit her. The man still did his duties as a husband, and I feel like he kind of, for me as a Christian reading this or reading Karenin's character, it really reminded me of the, how can I say, the pressure, the responsibility that a Christian man has towards his wife inside of marriage. And I say that because as Christians, we know that the man is supposed to honor, redeem his wife. He's supposed to lay his life the way Christ laid his life on the cross for the church. And as the women are submissive to the head of the household, which is our husband, just like we are submissive to our Lord Jesus Christ and Savior. So it really was a pleasure to read this and make this comparison, like to really see the Christ in him. Even though I will say that he was being led astray by his friend Ivanovna, I think that's her name, because at the end she does preach the gospel to him, but I do feel like some of the biblical verses that she used, she kind of misconstrued a few of the verses. And I feel like he was being led to do what she wanted him to do and not really what Christ wanted him to do. But then again, I feel like at that time, maybe people didn't have access to the Bible, because there was a time that Christians, or at least normal people, were not allowed to read the whole Bible in its entirety, because the Catholic Church basically only released a few verses or chapters. But anyways, that's what I have to say about Karenina. I really loved the character of Karenina. Now let's go to Anna and Vronsky. I'm just gonna pair them together because I don't want this video to be too long. Now, when it comes to Vronsky and Anna, their relationship was, I think I would say it was not really superficial, but it was a relationship with no communication and no and immaturity. And I say immaturity and lack of communication because a lot in the end could have been avoided if Anna would have been open and honest with Vronsky, and if Vronsky was also able to listen, understand, and he would also open and bring his grief out to Anna. And I say that because when they let their emotions rule, and each were thinking only of themselves. Like there were parts where Anna was like, he doesn't understand the suffering, he doesn't understand the weight, he doesn't understand my position in society, he doesn't understand what it's like to be shunned and stuff like that. And the fact that Anna never told Vronsky that she was besides herself towards the end because she couldn't see her son Sereza, I really think that that's something that they should have talked about. The fact that Vronsky also never really cared about asking how she felt as a mother to abandon one child for him. So, and also the fact that he would always try to, he would always try to like like make her submit, and she would refuse to submit. And she was so clingy because she abandoned everything to be with Vronsky, and she just wanted Vronsky's love to herself and attention to herself, but Vronsky was feeling smothered by her, and anytime he would have the chance to be in society with other people, he would take it. And I really felt like they should have just communicated. There was a part almost at the end where when Levin meets Anna, and even Levin he says what everyone was feeling, which is Vronsky doesn't really understand Anna in her entirety, and that's true. And Anna didn't also understand Vronsky in his entirety, and the lack of communication is what killed the relationship. I was also kind of disappointed in the end how Anna died, because I thought that she was gonna have like a major meltdown because she couldn't see her son, and maybe because she would try to like hang out or talk to some women in society and they will shun her, and maybe that's what would like push her to the edge. But the fact that what pushed her to the edge was her petty revenge to hurt Vronsky, because Vronsky wasn't back at the time that she wanted. So yeah, I really felt like there was kind of, I don't know, a buzzkill. Also, Vronsky was just an F-boy, it's all I can say. Because some of his thoughts in the beginning about marriage, about dating, courting people, the fact that he was only there, he was only courting Kitty, not for the purpose of marriage, but just because he felt good about it. It was just kind of odd to me. And yeah, his ideals of marriage, I get it that he was ruined because his mom was kind of like Anna, where she slept around, she cheated, and everybody in society knew. And yeah, so he just gave me F boy vibes. So that is all I can say. Moving on to Levin. I first did not really like Levin that much, but then after his farming experiences, his thoughts, I felt like Levin was the character that I understood the best, that became relatable to me, at least whenever he would show signs of insecurity or overthinking things. I really felt like I related to Levin in that sense. So I really loved Levin. By the time I reached like halfway through the book, I kind of felt like I knew Levin so well that whatever situation he would be thrown into, I would be able to know how he would feel, what would he think, and how he would handle the situation. And I was completely right. When there was this guy that was trying to court Kitty, so after Kitty and Levin got married, they went to live in the country. And when they went to live in the country, a lot of friends went to go like visit the new couple, the newlywed couple. And there was this guy that was also friends with Anna and Vronsky, and he was trying to court Kitty. And mind you, Kitty was recently married and she was pregnant. The fact that this man was trying to flirt or get lucky with a married pregnant woman was disgusting. And I really loved that how when Levin noticed that this is what was happening, this man was making his wife uncomfortable, he was trying to pursue his wife, he decided to kick him out. And even though it was something shameful to do back then in society, I'm really glad that he did that, because he was preserving his peace, his wife's peace. He was maintaining stability, or at least he was maintaining the peace of mind of his family. He did what was best for his wife and himself. So I really agree that he did that. And I really just started to love Levin, especially and also Kitty. If you watch my vlogs, you'll know that in the beginning I did not like Kitty at all. But maybe I realized that maybe I just didn't like Kitty because I actually related a lot to her. Kitty in the beginning is this she's a naive girl, she's young, she's looking for a suitor to marry. She doesn't know any better. She thinks that she's in love with Levin. And Levin proposes, she rejected her, and she tries to keep herself open and dance with Vronsky, but then, well, Vronsky ends up with Anna, and she's beside herself. She's heartbroken, that to the point that she gets sick, and she travels abroad with her family to get better. And I started to fall in love with her when she met Varenka, her friend, and I feel like her friend was really like a pillar to her development in terms of her becoming the woman that she became when she got married. The fact that she was able to help Levin where he couldn't. There's a scene where Levin's older brother Konstantin is sick. I think he had tuberculosis or something, and Levin thought that she was still immature, that she wouldn't be able to handle being somewhere where a person is dying and stuff like that, and just that general ambience. So he tries to like make her stay at home while he goes, and I really agree what she did. She was like, no, I'm his wife, I will go wherever he goes. And it was a godsend that she did, because when she saw the way that Levin's brother was, she became everything that I envision or want to be as a wife one day, where she became a homemaker, she became a nurse, she became Levin's savior in a way, just in that scene. Not that she is like Levin's savior, but she really showed her maturity, her progression. Everything that she learned with Varenka during her trip really showed, because when they get to see Eleven's brother Constantine, he's basically in bed. He's sick. He's dying, and or at least he's close to his death. And they're staying in a like this disgusting, gross like hotel rooms. And Kitty just takes charge. When Levin couldn't even stand being too long in his brother's room because it was dirty, it smelled bad, and Levin will constantly find excuses to leave so that he could have a breather and then return. And the fact that Kitty became such a responsible woman, she basically helped, she like cleaned or at least hired people to like clean their bedroom or their hotel room with her and Levin, and also the bedroom of where Constantine or Levin's brother was staying. And she brought new pillows, she brought new sheets, she got Constantine to talk more, to sit up. She basically ordered people to like bathe Levin's brother, to give him new clothes, and at some point he did even get better just by the things that she did. And it was just such an amazing scene. I fell in love completely with Kitty. So I take back all the statements that I didn't care about Kitty because I ended up really loving her. So yeah. This book is so easy to read. It is so readable. Anyone can read it. Even if you've never read a classic before and you decide to read this, I feel like it's really amazing. The writing is simple. It flows so well. Even though this is a translated work, and they say that a lot is lost, a lot of sense and meaning is lost through the translation or because of the translation, I honestly felt like in its essence was still preserved, because maybe it's the translation, because this is the mild translation, and I would say that the writing flowed really well. It was really good. And yeah, so I love the character of Kitty, of Levin. I love their development. um I love Dolly. I hate Oblansky. I absolutely hate Oblansky. Oblansky is a bad husband, a bad father, a bad friend. He's just bad overall. And the reason I hate him is not just because he cheated on his wife or he was a serial cheater, was also because he was really cold towards his kids. In the beginning, when his wife finds out of his cheating and she's like crying and locks herself in her room, Oblansky is not hurt or not sad because he regrets cheating, but because she found out. And his excuse is that his wife is no longer young, she's no longer pretty, she's no longer youthful. Mind you, they're the same age. They're both 32 years old. But then what did he expect? His wife gave birth to five children. His children, may I add. But the moment that made me really hate Oblansky was on the scene where his two oldest kids were like running towards him, and there's Tanya the girl, and then there's Grisha the boy. And this man proceeds to hug and kiss his favorite daughter, which is Tanya, the oldest, and he greets the boy. He doesn't even say he greets Grisha. He greets the boy. And the fact that his own son knows that he's not loved by his father and doesn't greet him back. Then he goes and gets candy to give to Tanya. He takes like a chocolate and a sweet or something. And then Tanya has to be the one to be like, oh, is this candy for me and for Grisha? And he's like, oh, yes, give it to your brother as well. It was so disgusting, so disgusting. Dolly basically became a single mom. She's a married single mom because she takes care of all of the kids. She worries about their education. She worries about the house all by herself. Blansky still manages to put the whole family in debt because he was blowing the money with other women, drinking, friendships, and stuff like that. And then in the end, it seems that Levin takes care of Levin basically is the one who's financially taking care of Dolly and the kids, which is really unfair because it's a lot of pressure to put on Levin's back, because Oblansky applies for another job in Petersburg. So he has like two occupations, getting more money a year. And the fact that Levin is still the one that has to use all of his farming um, money or whatever to take care of not just his household, but also Dolly's household is just disgusting to me. I hate him as a character. So I think that's all I kind of have to say. Also, I really love some of the themes that made me really think the kind of woman that I want to be. Yes, this book was written by a man, but there's a lot of topics about womanhood, manhood in this book that really made me reflect on what kind of a wife do I want to be, and a lot of things in myself so many things that I saw in myself that I really want to change and become better. Also, there was this part that I didn't really understand. So maybe whoever is watching this, please answer me. There's this, and if you read the book, you probably know what I'm talking about. So there's this part in the book uh, where basically Oblansky, Vronsky, and maybe a little bit Levin, they mention this part about independence as a man and freedom as a man, where Oblansky talks about that he has to show his wife, or he was telling Levin that he has to show Kitty that he's still free, or he still has his freedom and independence as a man. And then Levin asked him, so if I decide to sleep with the governess or with the maid, does that show my dominance, my freedom or independence as a man? And Oblansky says, if is that what you want, yes. So basically, Oblansky feels like he has to show and prove that he's an independent, free man. Marrying a woman is not a torture, it's not prison. You're not stuck with them because you willingly chose to marry this woman. So I didn't really understand. So for Blansky, his independence is by him feeling the freedom of marrying, of dating other women, drinking, going out with friends, going out whenever he wants, while for Vronsky was him constantly contradicting and fighting with Anna. Whenever Anna would say something, he would always try to put her down. He would always try to rebuke whatever she was saying. And then when he started to go out with his friends more, he was trying to show that he's still free or he still has independence as a man. And Anna even mentions that he's doing this to show that he's still free as a man. And for Levin, he doesn't really show it much, but maybe just in the end when he goes to the Moscow bar or whatever that they went. So yeah, I really did not get that part. Can someone please explain to me, because I was kind of confused. So that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.